Hey, what up, boxing fans? This is the Rope a Dope Report. I am your host, Chris Carlson. If you like what you're hearing, subscribe, hit the notification button. Check out the Rope a Dope Radio podcast at any time. Information's in the description box. Well, finally, we have some closure on knowing when Anthony Joshua and Wladimir Klitschko will fight. I shouldn't say when. That's actually stupid of me. Not when, but where in the United States. We figured it was one or the other, right? Showtime or HBO, but now we finally have it figured out. These two, they took quite a while considering this fight has been done. You know, it's been in the books, sold out, 90,000 people over in Wembley Stadium. Finally, we know who's going to broadcast. So it breaks down like this. Showtime has the live rights during the afternoon. And at night in prime time that Saturday, HBO will show the taped replay. So, and the reason why it took so long, Showtime would have had this thing sealed a long time ago. But it's because Wladimir Klitschko still had an option that he owed HBO. So HBO, they're going to obviously cash in right now. Potentially the rematch could be live on HBO. We know when this fight was going to happen in December potentially, or at least they were talking about it. They had worked out a deal between each other that they would get the live broadcast or the first broadcast, and if there's a rematch, HBO would get it. So there's a potential that if there's a rematch, HBO would get the live. But anyway, Klitschko had a deal, and there was just one option left on it, so that's why HBO was still in the race. And then, Anthony Joshua is under contract from Showtime. So that's why there was a little issue. If you didn't know, most people know that. But yeah, so I'm just happy. Now, what does it do for, the ratings and all that? I mean, the afternoon shows, I remember the Klitschko Fury fight did very well, right? I think it did over 1 million during the day. Generally speaking, the ratings are a little bit percentage-wise down during the afternoon rather than the prime time. Even though it's on tape delay, some people prefer to watch it at night. You just stay offline or whatever, you know what I mean? So I do think just because HBO has a bigger base and it is a better time, I guess you could say, right? They probably will get the bigger rating. But I do think at some point Showtime had a chance to definitely get the bigger rating. And I say that because I feel like Dan Raphael said this not long ago. He felt, and I feel the same way, that HBO was just dragging this thing on and kept dragging their feet to finalize it. So Showtime really couldn't really advertise it that much. You know what I mean? If you think about it, and we all know Showtime's kicking HBO's ass right now. Earlier in the year, it actually beat it head-to-head in ratings, which is very, very uncommon thing. But, if you look at the Broner fight, you look at that CBS fight with Thurman and Porter, that peaked over 5 million. The whole card averaged well over 3 million. So it would have been nice to say, hey, by the way, since we have 3 and 4 million people viewing this fight right now, by the way, Anthony Joshua and Wladimir Klitschko are fighting, at the end of April type thing. You know what I mean? So it definitely hurts Showtime that way. They don't get to advertise this fight as much as they'd want to across, the CBS and Showtime platforms. And even potentially on the PBC in a sense, because a lot of times Showtime, well, probably not, because there's no Heyman fighter in this. So I'm wrong on that one. You know how, no matter what channel it's on for the PBC, they'll talk about other networks, which is usually not. And they don't talk about the network, but they talk about a fight, and they show it saying, hey, it's on, you can see it's on these networks or whatever. They show the schedule is what I'm trying to say. So I guess that'll hurt them, but I'm just glad. And overall, a lot of times HBO, when they do an afternoon, they'll just combine the rating and be like, hey, that's what we got for a rating. So I do think it's kind of cool to have HBO and Showtime both doing it, because it really gives a chance of, for the country, and not like it's going to get a huge rating, unfortunately. But it is nice for both during the day and at night to be able to catch it. So it's going to do a good number combined, I think. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here. I'm just happy that we finally know for sure it's here. All right, peace.